group members.
Marina Dormos, Leslie Mary, Mary and Kazupanan, Lean Hope Monya, Roan Keith Della Cruz.
Overview of the case study.
Established 178 years ago, Thomas Cook was the oldest and most well-known travel group in the tourism and travel industry in United Kingdom, but a number of different factors led to the company's demise. Founded in 1841, Thomas Cook himself began the business by operating a single rail journey from Leicester to Loughborough. This has since grown to become a global travel business. However, in November 2011, Thomas Cook's shares plummeted by 75% after the tour operator held talks with banks to increase its borrowing. The company subsequently reported losses for £185 million. The company made changes to its management team, with Harriet Green taking up the position of chief executive and tasked with turning around the business and reducing its overall debt. The downfall of this much-loved brand will have far-reaching consequences. This case study explores those consequences and looks at just what went wrong.
Brief introduction.
Thomas Cook Group is one of the world's leading leisure travel groups. Thomas Cook is a mass-market tour operator, and it is in the private sector organization. They produce package holidays, which provide their customers with flights and accommodation, activities, and any needed ancillary services. Thomas Cook's main aims are to make a profit, to be successful, provide scheduled flights, and to promote tourism within the UK. Thomas Cook provide overseas packaged holidays, which include flights, hotels, Thomas Cook Airlines, car hire, and travel insurance. They provide you with food, drink, and entertainment and can be booked through travel agents, Thomas Cook website, or call centers. These services help Thomas Cook to make a profit as they provide package holidays, which make it easier for people to book a holiday and are more likely to book with Thomas Cook because of the facilities and packages they provide within the organization. Thomas Cook is a member of Air Transport Organizers License, which means more people will book with them as they know they are protected and nothing will go wrong. They also comply with the Disability Discrimination Act, as Thomas Cook provide disabled people with extra help, products, and services that they may need. They comply with the Health and Safety Act that applies to everyone and makes sure that customers and all sub-employees are protected from any incidents that may occur whilst on their holiday. Thomas Cook provide mainly intangible products. Thomas Cook are at different levels in the chain of distribution, and the group owns around 800 travel agencies. The Thomas Cook Group is second in the chain of distribution and work with all different companies as the tour operators buy from the principals and then they sell through different retail sources. Thomas Cook work with different companies such as Alimo and Avis, which offer car hire and interdepend with Thomas Cook as they create more businesses for these companies through its customers. Thomas Cook sometimes advertise these companies to a customer and will then book with them. They benefit from these businesses as it means they save more money by not needing to buy their own cars.
Objective of the case study.
The objective of the study: to study about globally established tourism organization in mid-19th century. Understand how Thomas Cook began organizing leisure trips in his international travel company with the successful rail excursion. How it became continue progressively and go to name for package holidays. And how it played a key role in evolution of travel in tourism industry. to examine the issues and problems of Thomas Cook, discuss the main source of the problem affecting the operations, from describing how Thomas Cook affected the Arab Spring, Eurozone crisis in its sluggish recovery and tourism to the Middle East and North Africa that leads of the slow travel booking. Discuss how did Thomas Cook got into debt. To examine the reason why Thomas Cook fall. Discuss the reason behind the market failure of Thomas Cook. What are the factors may have affected the business leading up to that time? Discuss what are the reasons of fail and why did it happen? To provide recommendations and solutions to the issues and problems. Provide better ways that possible leads for the recovery and continue play a role in evolution of travel to support tourism industry.
Background of the case study.
In the background of the study, Thomas Cook is one of the world's best-known brands in travel, and it has sometimes been referred to as the world's oldest travel company. Thomas Cook began his international travel company in 1841 with a successful one-day rail excursion he organized between the English cities of Leicester and Loughborough. From the humble beginnings, Thomas Cook began to develop first with the domestic excursions and then from the 1850s the development of tours in continental Europe. From these modest beginnings, Thomas Cook Group plc has developed into one of the world's leading leisure travel groups with sales of over 59 billion and more than 20 million customers in the year ending 30 September of 2013. About 27,000 employees are employed by the group, which operates from offices in 17,000 countries. It is number 1 or 2 in all its core markets. The company's shares are listed on the London Stock Exchange. However, in recent years, the company has experienced some difficulties and radical steps had to be taken to alleviate the situation. Although the antecedents of what might be termed mass international tourism can be traced back to the roots of Thomas Cook in 1850s Britain. As a highly structured and vigorously sector of many economies, it can primarily be viewed as a creation of more recent times. Since the early 1950s in particular, the growth of international tourism has been phenomenal in its scale and remarkably resilient to periodic economic and political adversity. In product life cycle terms and taking in global perspective, international tourism might be categorized as having passed through the introductory phase into the growth phase. The number of international arrivals, for example, has shown an evolution from a mere 25 million international arrivals in 1950 to an estimated 806 million in 2005 and a figure of almost 1.1 billion in 2013, corresponding to an average annual growth rate of 3.8% between 2005 to 2013. The overall growth disguises many differences in performance across the world's region and the marked slowdown during the years of economic slowdown within this period. However, many more countries and new consumers are being drawn into the international tourism net. On a global scale, further growth is to be expected before maturity is reached. Such growth will be uneven, both spatially and with regard to time, and is likely to take place against the backdrop in the business environment, thereby creating both managerial and marketing opportunities and dilemmas for private sector leaders and public sector policymakers. The growth in the number of tourist arrivals, particularly international arrivals, has been mirrored by the growth of a vast complex travel industry which supports the activity.
Problems.
Problem number 1, slow booking season. Slow booking season piling further pressure on Thomas Cook's cash flow during the slow winter booking season. They have seen some deterioration in their trading post the end year, and that has put pressure on the cash and liquidity position. He blamed the group lack of booking on the Eurozone crisis and sluggish recovery in tourism to the Middle East and North Africa. It was also acknowledged that costs had risen for holidays in Turkey, where the company's market lender, as a result of the effect of the Arab Spring and its fuel buying policy, was only 80% hedged against fuel increases compared to rivals through travel at more than 90%. Thomas Cook's cash flow seasonal because fewer holidays were booked and paid for in the winter, prompting speculation that the group could reach its obligation around Christmas time. Problem number 2, the internet. The travel bookings business has increasingly moved online, but Cook's business largely did not, though it is announced an alliance with Expedia in 2017. It relied heavily on physical stores and telephone assistance. Globally, the brand operated more than 600 physical stores called High Street stores in United Kingdom for their location on the town's main commercial street. They were never very good at digital, said Rafat Ali, the chief executive of Skift, a New York-based media company that provides research and marketing services for the travel industry. Problem number 3, declining interest in package tours. The package holiday market has gotten squeezed because it is too much easier for consumers to pick the elements they want for a holiday, and for them to be able to pick a good price. Instead of moving in that direction, Thomas Cook moved towards a direction of being a tour operator, although they had more control over it by owning the hotels and the airline. The market has continued to get squeezed. The problem is that the package have a very defined season. So if one season goes bad because the summer is too hot or because a key market like Egypt is experiencing trouble, it affects the cash flow of a company like Thomas Cook very badly. Problem number 4, operating an airline is expensive. In early 20s, Thomas Cook began moving into the airline business. The company slowly absorbed Condor, a Frankfurt-based airline that was formerly a subsidiary of Lufthansa. In 2013, the company began operating its own airline, Thomas Cook Airlines, a United Kingdom-based operation with 34 planes in the fleet traveling into 82 destinations. Many experts pointed to that decision as a primary source of its trouble. It is very hard to operate a travel agency, and it's very hard to operate an airline, said Mr. Kirby, the Travel Advisors Association. And the lessons he learned operating a successful agency do not always transfer to operating an airline. Both are independent, complicated business in their own ways. The aviation consultant, John Strickland, noted that carriers like Thomas Cook don't have the flexibility of a standalone airline. The cost of running an airline combined with the operating cost, the crew, maintenance, and more. They make any airline vulnerable to declines in demand. Problem number 5. Those 150,000 travelers who were stranded. British tour company Thomas Cook collapsed after failing to secure emergency funding, leaving tens of thousands of vacationers stranded abroad. The company's troubles were already affecting those traveling under Thomas Cook. More than half of the 150,000 holidaymakers left stranded abroad after the collapse of travel firm Thomas Cook have been repatriated to Britain. Problem number 6. Too much debt. Thomas Cook had a debt of over $2.1 billion. It is the reason the investors backed out of the investing to the company. The bosses of Thomas Cook even met many lenders and creditors in London but failed to raise any funds. Again, investors backed, which led to the Thomas Cook bankruptcy case. Problem number 7. Lack of management control. The company stopped paying dividends to shareholders in 2011 as the previous crisis hit but resumed them in 2017. An odd thing to do if trading and solvency was tight. The company's results were marked by exceptional one-off items, always a red flag for analysts, while the negotiations over the restructuring plan have been chaotic.
Solutions.
possible solution of the problem is slow booking season is running loyalty programs because it is considered to be one of the finest approaches to increase repeat travelers at your tour operation company. Such loyalty programs will help you to increase your booking occupancy by creating an even stronger relationship with your customers. For example, send personal emails by offering them special discounts, offers, reward points, and much more to attract them. Next is the internet. Adapt to the digital world where technology exists. The internet helped to take the mystery out of travel and make it more accessible. The ease of obtaining information and dealing directly with suppliers made DIY holidays increasingly popular. The internet can be a wonderful tool, but it is not without its downsides. Social media has this problem for business too. Monitoring, vigilance, and rapid response to customers are demanded nowadays, and Thomas Cook has responded by deploying a care team to provide support pretty much round to the clock. The emergence of online travel agents had led to many of the more traditional businesses keeping their online business totally separate. This created internal competition and confused customers, most of whom use more than one channel in the booking process. Next possible solution in the problem, declining interest package tours which engage with customers on social media. Travelers of all age groups are using social media networks where they talk about travel products, share experiences, or express their preferences. Use images, videos, questionnaire status to spark conversation and motivate potential clients to follow you. Listening to their comments and receiving feedback helps you create better tailored trips and packages. Next is the problem of operating an airline is expensive. The possible solution, be smart when it comes to fuel. Airlines can save money through fuel hedging contracts that secure a fixed price for fuel over a certain period. Negotiate airport fees. Next is those 150,000 travelers who were stranded. Holiday makers get home via free flights booked at no extra cost through another scheduled airline with details on the official website. The CAA or Civil Aviation Authority contacted Thomas Cook hotels that were booked as part of a package to notify them that tourist costs will be covered by the government via the Air Travel Trust Fund and the licensing scheme for air travel organizers licensing. The next one is too much debt. Keep an eye on the next amount of debt held. Although businesses consider carrying debt as normal source of cash flow, firms must be able to control debts to avoid spending revenues. In the case of Thomas Cook, the company had accumulated debts of over 3 billion euros, which led to the company's demise despite efforts to find solutions such as the partnership with Fuson and bailout from the UK government. The last one is the lack of management control. Poor communication between various sections. The solution to poor communication is good communication. This can be achieved by ensuring that all messages are written or spoken using very specific words and phrases as possible. Instruct your company to have a good communication to know where your company is lacking of.
Recommendations.
Companies need to avoid market failure through various steps. First, companies should be updated day to day with the new technology since it became one of the essential things in people's lives and can be the easiest way to gain profits. Of course, nowadays, we all know that technology is part of our lives. It is the easiest way for us to introduce our products to our customers. Second, if there are competitors, the companies need to be unique among them with their promotions, discounts, and packages. It is because that will be your advantage to other companies or to your competitors. For example, offering a discount. Customers think that they can save money so that you caught his or her attention. It is not only helping your customers but also helping your business. Third, through advertising, the preferences of customers are changing. Why is that so? It is because new technology are evolving, and along with that, media formats are changing to accommodate new consumption preferences. Lastly, fourth, balancing the expenses, considering government cost expenditures. It is important to balance the expenses or a budget to avoid excessive spending of money. The company needs to equilibrium transaction cost and government cost.
Result.
If the possible solutions are implemented, this will be the result. One of the first leading tour operators and will be recognized. Advantage to the competitors. Once Thomas Cook implemented the solution, the result of that is he will become better than his competitors and it will lead to his success because the overall result, Thomas Cook will be successful.
Short video clip. hear the yarn of what? About
With the Thomas Cook Holiday Pledge, we promise to find you a holiday resort that fits all your requirements, or give you your money back.
Let's see.
Credits to the rightful owner. Copyright disclaimer. We do not own video clips. All rights belong to its rightful owner only. No